Hi, welcome to Gladiators, where we discuss literature in all of its forms. It's written work, it's game. Let's meet the panel.
Hi, I'm Brian.
I'm Kaila.
And I'm Nick.
And I'm Dan. And today we're covering 100 Bullets, which is a series I did not know existed.
Yeah.
Neither is that.
So I saw this. I don't know how I got the idea to read this, but I read the premise and it sounded very interesting to me. Basically, you get an offer from a mysterious figure. You get a gun and 100 untraceable bullets, and he shows you who's wronged you in your life, and you get to decide whether or not to take action.
And if you do kill him, the thing is you suffer no consequences or rewards.
Right.
Which I think...
They're above
There's a lot of people I want to kill, so I would love to have this guy.
They're
Yeah.
above the law.
But take
But
that context.
Yeah.
honestly, I didn't even read the back. I just went in blind.
Oh,
I
yeah.
looked at the cover. I'm like, all right, I kind of got an idea of what's going on, and it was not what I thought. I'm like, okay.
Even beyond the plot line that they gave, it was very... There's so much more to it. So you start reading, you're like, okay, like this is what it says it's going to be. But then...
Like the second story arc, it takes a completely different turn.
Oh, yeah.
Because
Right.
before it's just this guy coming to people randomly, and then the second storyline gets more into what he works for, like this group knows that trust and all this other stuff, and like the Civil War they kind of got going on and all this stuff. It's just a crazy conspiracy theory read. It's just amazing.
Yeah, and I didn't know that was going to happen until like I started reading, and you start to dive deeper into this mystery, and that's what I loved about it. I loved that it was more than just, hey, here, here, go take your revenge. Like, then you don't think like, all right, how can I get away with this? Who's giving me such power to do this?
Yeah, and the thing is, like, normally, like, if they just went with, like, what's his name? I forget his name.
Graves.
Yeah,
Graves.
Like, if he just came to you and things like that could work for like a short series.
Right.
But here they show you what happens.
Stories.
Yeah, like it shows you what happens beyond that.
Yeah,
the things
before
like,
end even.
Yeah.
There's more to it than just this guy coming to you.
Those
you know.
flashbacks and that was freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was definitely put together well.
Yeah, it
Definitely
was.
put together well.
The only thing I didn't get about the whole story though is how quick people were to just say, okay, yeah, let me take this gun and do what I have to do. Like, they didn't really question at all this, like, random shady character coming.
They found these people in like hard times.
Yeah,
Like some of them were pretty hard times.
Yeah.
That brings up a question. Like, what if you were offered this? Like, a gun with 100 bullets and things. So you'd suffer no consequences for getting rid of these people.
Right.
Like, would you actually be willing to do it?
I think, depending on the situation, if I was in a lot of anger and sorrow, I think I honestly would. But I would also question it too. Like, I wouldn't just take it and be like, okay, thank you. I'd be like, I'd try and find out who this guy is and like.
How do I know I'm not?
How do I
gonna
know?
get
Yeah, exactly. How do I know I'm not going to get caught?
I mean, it's just kind of the thing of like morality,
Right.
Yeah.
Which they actually touched upon a little later on in the series. The one guy who ran away to France. It was kind of horrible, but he adopted a dog, took it into the park, and then shot it dead right in front of everybody. And then they had to, the cops came and he had his gun back within 2 hours, he said. So
This, I don't know if it was in this one, but this one actually got me interested in the series, and I read the second one, and it just keeps getting better.
Yeah.
Wait, isn't there a sequel series to this?
There's like five books.
There's 5 of these books.
Yeah, there's
total.
5 books.
Yeah, there's also a sequel series too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he just started writing. There's a volume 1 out right now.
They should make a movie like this.
Yeah, it'd
I
be a
feel
really
like
good
somewhere I
movie.
read that they're actually making it a TV series.
It would be a good show.
That would be
yeah.
good.
I think that's what I heard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's got too much involved for a movie, but I think as a TV
Kind of like
series, it could
something
do well.
like
Yeah.
I don't even remember the name of it. Never mind, continue.
It'd be a good HBO show. Cause
Yeah,
they
definitely.
With like
Yeah.
that grit.
Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something kind of like. Oh wait,
Yeah.
no, that's not. Never mind, continue. I
I
gotta
mean,
figure out what the name is.
I
I would
kind of
love-
some of the sci-fi element to it, but
Yeah.
not much.
I would love to say that I'm not the kind of person who would. I'd be like, no, thank you. But I think if I suffered as much as these people had, I don't think there would be any.
Like in my
question
life, I wouldn't take it right
Yeah,
because
same.
I got nothing
Yeah.
wrong. But
No one's
later
ever
down-
done me this dirty.
later down the line, if stuff happens, like maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't think I'm the kind of
my
person that would
research.
turn it
I would
down.
definitely do my
Yeah.
research.
Like if somebody definitely
Yeah.
like killed a member of my family or like basically destroyed my entire life, I want revenge. And if someone gave me the offer for that, where I would suffer no consequences, I would definitely take it.
Yeah.
But right now I'm in my life where the thing is like I still have a house. All my family's still alive. Except my grandparents, but that's a whole different story.
Yeah.
But other than that, the thing is, my life isn't that bad right now. So the thing is, like, I wouldn't need a gun and stuff like that. But the thing is, like, if someone did wrong me and things I knew who that person was, I'd want a chance to take revenge.
I know, like, some of them, like, once they, like, it was like an instinct type thing. They're like, yes, I'm going to take this. But then they sat and thought about it for a while. They're like, wait a minute.
I feel like that would
Yeah.
be me.
It's kind of like the whole entire thought
Yeah.
and then, like, the taking action thing,
Yeah.
Like,
Definitely.
Like, they probably thought, I want to kill this person, but when they're actually given the chance, they're wondering, should I really do it? Could I really take a life?
It definitely draws you in. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And I think it also brings up a good point regarding morality as far as, like, how bad does a person have to be to deserve this kind of an end? You know what I mean? Oh, God, yeah. That's no question.
Hitler level bad, I would have to say.
I like how it's a lot deeper than that, though. Like, it's never just this person did a bad thing.
It's not black and white.
No.
Like, it's kind of helping that person as well. Like,
Right.
It's like, wait, this is the guy that messed up my life, or this is the person that killed my mom, or
Right, because even in the first 2 issues with the girl, you find out that it was 2 dirty cops that killed her family.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it was also her brother that, like...
Yeah, that was making, I think, an illegal drug deal.
Yeah, that kind of also, furthered that situation to reach that point.
Yeah.
Like I said, it definitely is like, I want to know everything.
Right.
I don't know if they actually touched upon it, but I want to know if, like, what would happen if you used all 100 bullets and didn't complete your mission? Like, what would happen then?
Well, they didn't touch on that, but the one story about the dice players, at the very end of their story arc, he was throwing all the bullets into the lake. And then I think they like alluded to like he only had one left, and he was just going to use that to kill his friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it makes me wonder, like, if you took all the bullets and things, used them all up.
Yeah, you just went crazy and was like, you know what, I'm going to do this, 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 and this, but not take care of the main problem. And then they just waste all the bullets and never do the main problem. I wonder what happens after
Would they
that.
suffer consequences or what?
I mean, they probably would, because on at the end of this first book, the one guy, Loop, he goes to, in his story, he kills the guy who killed his dad. And he was supposed to kill his dad in the beginning, but he didn't use the gun to kill that one woman who attacked him when she was shooting pool, and then she started beating the crap out of him.
He used a regular gun. Yeah.
No, he sliced her throat with a broken bottle.
Yeah. So so apparently
And he got arrested for that in the end.
Only if you use the bullets or the gun,
Right.
you won't get caught. But
It's
if
not
you use
you that has immunity, it's the weapon.
Right.
Yeah, it's a weapon apparently.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I think it's like if they find the bullets or the things, it'll be untraceable. and
Yeah,
things.
basically, I think
that.
it's like if they get caught, there's like no registration, so they can't figure out who gave it to you.
Yeah.
or
So if like
whatever.
you use anything else to like kill a person, there's a chance you could be caught.
Yeah.
But if you use the gun and the bullets, you'll be safe.
Right.
Right.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, the guy who used the cutter with the bottle. Yeah, I forgot about that part.
It gives a lot of people a like drastic decision, and it's just like that's too strong.
Yeah.
What I really want to touch about is like the group that he works for. The agency, like the trust, I think they're called.
Yeah, the trust.
I can say their backstory is pretty interesting because like the trust is a broken off branch of another group. And the thing is, then the trust, you can see that there's like turmoil between new members and old members. You know, like so the thing is like it's kind of like all this interfighting. It's like this one branch broke off, and the thing is, but then there's still interfighting.
They kind of reminded me of like the group of Mr. Smith from The Matrix, just like that whole like guys in black suits.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Men
exactly.
in Black.
Yeah, Men in Black types.
Yeah, and it's definitely got like that conspiracy Illuminati feel going on.
Oh,
you know?
absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't know how far you guys got, but like, did you get to the part where like some of the people he was giving the gun to were former members?
Yeah.
That I thought,
and that was trying to get them to jog their memory because it was just like
the one guy had like completely lost all memory of being part of the organization.
That I thought was really interesting. The thing is that some of these people used to be part of this group, but they lost their memories.
I like that because I had no idea what was going on at first, and then once you kept going, it was like, oh wow.
I think later on in this book, like closer to the end, didn't the one guy finally come up, like make his mind up and was like, yeah, I'll come and join back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I thought was really interesting. I thought that. Yeah, there's a lot that goes on in this book that I could go on and on about, and I really do want to read the rest of the series.
So do I. Especially the ending of this first book made me want to.
Yeah, like it's just like the first 19 issues, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. I think I read up to like 30 something. I forget which one I was on, but I've read like the first 3 books, and then the thing is, I want to get the other, like you said, there's like 10 of them.
I think there's 5
There's 5 of these.
I don't know how many
it was pretty long, honestly.
Right. Well, the thing is, like, I couldn't get all 100 issues because Amazon doesn't have 4 or 5. They only 1, 2, and 3, so I couldn't find 4 or 5.
That's weird.
Yeah, they were out of stock, so how am I gonna do? But yeah, this was really interesting. Not what I thought it was gonna be. Completely different stories. I thought it was gonna be like like a crime noir thing.
Right.
But
that's
it's so much more than that.
Yeah.
And it dives even deeper than how deep you think it's going.
Oh,
Yeah.
I liked it a lot.
Yeah, if they made a movie or TV series, I would definitely watch it.
The art was really good, too.
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
It was this big life. Was it Vertigo?
Vertigo?
Vertigo? Yeah, they make some great works, like...
Yeah.
Because they do DC books and things like... The first time I read about them was like... what was it? It was like Fables. The thing is, that was a really good series by Vertigo. And the thing is, so when I heard that this was by Vertigo DC, I was like, I will take a look at this and see how good it is. And it was really, really interesting. Way better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
I thought it was just going to be like a regular noir, and I'm like, okay, well, because I just suffer reading through this, but it turned out to be way more than that.
Yeah,
I loved it.
I would also definitely say like it was probably like a 18 and over type book.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, it's definitely for an older audience.
Yeah.
Due to,
the
a lot of blood.
the violence and
the artwork.
Yeah, definitely.
I think they cursed a few times too.
Oh
yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
There were some sections that were like slang terms and stuff that I was just like, I don't know what that
Makes
says.
it a little
I don't
hard.
know
Oh,
what
yeah,
that says, but let me just keep going.
Yeah.
I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
That was kind of confusing. Like, if you remember the Dark Knight book, there's a part where like they speak completely in slang, and the slang that they use is like they use the term for spud. It means like I guess in terms of badass. I guess.
In the second book, they speak French.
They do in this one too.
Oh, they do.
They do for a while. I'm just like
No,
I had to
it's
skip
in
over
French.
it. I was just like
I can't read
have no
French.
idea.
Neither can I.
It was like 3 pages where I was just like,
Yeah.
okay, I don't know what this
They
says.
should, I feel like they should put
It's
translation
longer
in there.
than
Yeah.
It's
I mean-
longer. Almost the whole entire story is in
Really?
French. I'm just like,
Jeez.
Oh wow.
Like I don't think you would understand what's going on in that part unless you actually spoke French.
I think that's kind of like the point, though, is that
they.
you don't have to understand the reasoning. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, but like even like in regular books, like regular DC comic books, they say translate from this language. So the thing's like it's like okay, they're still speaking this language, but it's translated for us to read.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That would have been good if that was like that, but I didn't.
I put it all on Google Translate. So.
Yeah, you could probably find an
Oh
English
yeah, I got
version
plenty of
online.
time doing that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'll play do for my. So, any final thoughts?
I liked it. It was more than I expected, so I liked it because of that. The artwork was great. The story was great. So, it brings up a very interesting topic of morality. So I found it very interesting.
That's what drew me in first.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I say give it a shot no matter what. It's not, even if you don't think you're gonna like something like this, it's not about the crimes, it's about the people involved. So if you're into human stories, then give it a shot.
Yeah.
I definitely loved it. Like it definitely drew me in. I'm gonna read the other 5 books. Honestly,
me too.
And the things like I would say this like the first part seems a little like kind of slow. Keep reading it; it gets way better. Yeah. So I'm gonna give it a rating. I'm gonna say I'd probably rate it around like probably a solid 4. 4 for me.
Honestly, I really loved it. I'm giving it a 5.
I'd say a 4.
I would also give it a 4. Absolutely.
All right.
So.
Well, that's it for Literary Gladiators. Until next time, keep reading.
Thank you very much. Thank you.